Hello, my name is Frida and I'm a third year student studying sociology at City University of London. Today I'm just going to talk a little bit about sociology in general and what it's like to study at City University and what you can expect. First, I will talk a little bit about the structure of the course, and it's a 3-year course with a big choice of modules. Usually it is about 4 modules per term. This can differ depending on the modules that you have chosen. The first year counts for 10% of your final grade, so there is slightly less pressure there. It is more of a finding your feet, working out how to write academically. The second year is worth 30%, so a little bit more, but still not a huge amount. You still kind of specialising and finalising your areas, whereas the last year is a big 60%. But that is 3 years away and do not have to worry about that. In first year, your weekly structure will most likely look like 4 lectures and 4 seminars. Lectures are basically where you sit and listen and take in the information. It's a lot more passive. However, lecturers do like to sometimes like to kind of involve the students a bit more and ask them questions and interact a little bit. But mostly it is just a listening and asking questions if you need to, something that the lecturers definitely encourage because they like to see that people are actually taking in the information. Seminars are a lot more active and are basically a time where you can interact with the other students and the seminar leaders to talk about the previous lecture and to kind of add more knowledge and discuss readings, which I'll talk about in a second, and make sure that you understand everything and clear up anything you don't. Basically, for every module you will have in sociology, there will be readings. It may look very daunting, it may look very scary, but you will learn to just skim read and take in the information you need, and you will learn the best way to do that. I will say, very important to do those readings, will help you tremendously when it comes to actually doing your coursework. So next I just want to talk a little bit about the pathways and specialities of City University, and they are when you do a combination degree. So at City University with sociology we offer media and communication, international politics, criminology and psychology. So all of these will be in combination with a sociology degree. So that means when you finish you will have on your degree sociology with one of those 4. If you just study straight sociology like me, you can still pick modules from these categories, and having that combination does help. It helps you specialise in what you want to do. As I said before, a lot of reading. It is also mostly coursework. Some of you will probably be happy to hear that. I am very happy knowing that, but I know a lot of people do tend to prefer exams, and there are some. But with sociology, it is very, very heavily based on coursework. Even though that sounds very daunting, because a lot of the modules, it is 100% one essay. So your entire grade for that module will be one essay. There is a huge amount of support. First, you have your seminars where you can ask questions. You can always email seminar leaders and your lecturers if you need any help. And there are office hours, which people don't tend to take advantage of enough, but do. Because these lecturers want to help you. They want you to get the best grade you possibly can have. And that is somewhere where you can discuss the coursework, your ideas. They can give you advice on how to write an essay. They can give you all kinds of advice for what they're looking for within that module. So definitely take advantage of those office hours. Lastly, I'm just going to talk a little bit more about the modules. So with sociology, as I said before, you do get quite the choice. It is very, very, very diverse. Within the first year, foundational, looking at research, looking at the topics to kind of help you understand the things later on. So looking at like contemporary social theory, which is things like Marxism, and then gradually you can start to specialise. For example, in second year, I chose to do the modules Gender and Society, New Media Challenges, which is under Media and Communications, and Qualitative Analysis of Social Research Data. These three I picked because I personally want to focus on gender, I want to focus on media, and I prefer qualitative data to quantitative. If you do happen to have to pick a module that is not necessarily to your personal liking or to your specialising subjects, like I chose violence in second year as well, which is a criminology module, and I don't study any more of those. But for my final piece of coursework, I wrote about gender, so you can really still specialise and kind of cater your final coursework to the things that you are really interested in. The very last thing I just want to talk about is the Q-Step program, which I'm sure you will hear loads and loads about, because it is the thing that City is most proud of, I think, when it comes to sociology, and a really good opportunity. And basically it is a program that will get added to your degree. So you will have sociology with Q-Step, and it is about quantitative analysis, because there are not enough people doing that, and employers want more people doing quantitative data. Like I said, I am sure you will hear plenty about that, because City really does encourage you to take all the opportunities you can. That is everything I have to say. I hope I've covered enough, and I hope this hasn't been too boring or too wordy. And I really hope you enjoy your year at City University.